Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Dr. Paul Dyer. Welcome to Mental Health Mondays. Welcome to Mental Health Mondays. I'm Dr. Paul Dyer. You can listen to all of your shows here on iHeart, Apple Podcasts, where you get all your podcast channels and stations. As you can see, I am Batman. For those of you who can't see me on the podcast, this show is it's always about Mental Health Mondays. It's all about mental health issues. So we need to talk more about what's going on with each other. So many of us have a hard time asking for help. And we don't believe that friends, family, loved ones, or even professionals, or even myself, has ever asked for help. We could be heroes in many life. Hey, by the way, I hope you like it. I'm also a Batman fan. But needless to say, what I want to say is, every aspect of life has had an issue that contributes to your mental being. Your mental, being a neuroscience guy, being a science person that understands the chemistry of the body, chemistry of the mind, and how it can affect your life. Not knowing how it affects you creates, causes, and destroys. I'll say that again. It creates, causes, and destroys. Do you guys even know the story of Batman? Maybe you're not Batman fans, but let me give you a small bit. He was created out of trauma. He was loved, but he was created out of trauma. It doesn't matter what he does out of his life. Batman was created from a horrific murder that he witnessed. Most people know this. A lot of people know this, but maybe there's one or two you don't. To be something for someone, to be the hero for others, that takes a lot. It takes focus, it takes being trained, it takes obligation, dedication, but it also takes admitting to yourself that you need help. So many of us are not getting the help we need and the help we deserve. Either we can't find it, either we don't know anything about it, or we don't know where to go. That's why I do these shows. That's why I do all my shows. All my shows is going to be about information, understanding, and action. There are our Getham City, and we all have our own personal Getham City, where there's corruption and abuse of power, and a power over system that disregards the others. And we all fall into something, to some category of something. But here's what I want to tell you. Don't struggle alone. Don't allow yourself to struggle alone. We know that we need timeouts, and we know that we need breaks. We know that we need an opportunity to be better. We know that we can don on our capes, we can put on our masks that we face the world in, and yet, in here, we are struggling with our pain, our own purpose, and our identity. So what does it take? What does it take? It takes us to take off our mask. It takes us to take off the things that keeps us from not just being what we can be, but being who we are. Being who we are is always going to be important, but if you don't face all your traumatic experiences for yourself on your own and express them to people, to an individual, to someone else, we need you to express these things. We need you to release all the things that you think you're not. Now, we all don't have what you call a supportive cast. I believe that. Not all of us have a supportive cast team, someone to rely on. Metaphorically, we all don't have a general manager. We may be the owner, but we all don't rely on a general manager to put our good teams together to support us so we can win every day. We are in this game. And winning is living, not surviving. I'll say that again. Winning is living, not surviving. We have deaths that's in the family. We have kids getting shot. We have fathers, grandfathers that are dying, friends that are passing away, teachers, educators, mentors. We're losing them all, and we lose them daily. Doesn't matter what the reason is. Death is not a reason, it's an action. What you do with that is a cause. How it contributes in your life is a direction. And if you're not directing that, if you're not having an understanding that purpose of how you're feeling and how you're attaching to your sadness and your depression, understand the thread that it lines up with your body, how it keeps reverberating all those nasty chemicals that's spewing in all of your organs, that's causing your brain to go into different chemical functions. And then all that's going to happen, and it will continue to happen either in a positive way or in a negative way. The choice is you to express yourself and to get out of your mask, take off your cape, and stop pretending you're a hero and saying that you can take it. So many communities are in suffering and silence. Stop suffering in silence. Because that silence is killing us as a nation, it's killing us as a people, and it's killing your spirit, your soul, and your physical self, along with your mental self. The only way to be a true hero is to get out of being a villain to yourself. You have to get out of your way of being a villain. How are you a villain? By not expressing yourself and getting the help you deserve. It's going to take time. I believe a lot of mental health professionals, myself, there's a lot of professionals out there are just busy. And that's okay. But keep looking for someone to say, I have your back. A lot of people you believe have your back don't. Not because they don't want to, because they probably can't. Not because they're not reliable, they're just not ready. Right? They're not reliable ready. It's not a fault. It just is. You can't ask someone to drive you to the store when themselves don't have a car. Some people don't have emotional cars, mental cars to drive you to your next destination. So they're not ready. They're not able. And that's okay. You have to understand that some people would like to, would want to, really would love to have them and be able to take you to your next destination. They're just not capable. It's not a fault. It's not a fault. Many people have different attributes and different reasons, and that's theirs. But keep looking for someone to be on your team, to say, I got you. We got this. We can do this. That's what it takes. That's what it takes for all of us. Mental Health Mondays, something we talk about, something we stress about. Keeping it short, keeping it sweet. Some of my guests are away and they're busy and they're doing things. We have the opportunity to ask questions, to relay information. But this seemed to be important today because it keeps coming up to say, I wonder how come, why not, and what are the reasons? All destructive. How come, why not? Those answers are not going to help you express yourself. Those reasons are not going to help you to express yourself, to be vulnerable, to be open, to embrace yourself, to take off the mask. Stop pretending that you got this on your own, because you don't. I didn't. I expressed. Those you don't know, many troubles. Many troubles. Seek out the help, whether it be from molestation, whether it be from PTSD, whether it be from any of the reasons that I've had in my own personal life. Feeling a sort of way about me being a parent, me being a partner, all of it. We all need people to talk to work ourselves out. Life is not about perfection, but it is a purpose. It's about purpose. It's not always just about perseverance and overcoming. Stop always overcoming and release so it dissolves. But if you don't express yourself, you're going to always think you got this. You're going to always think that you can save something. Maybe you're looking to save yourself. But you can't save yourself from yourself. That's the drama. It's one of those outliers. Mental Health Mondays have been so important because, there are things that are going on in every fabric of our civilization and our lives that has created a dilemma of where do we turn to now. We have had, doesn't matter what the news tells you, doesn't matter what the world is telling you, it's affecting you. It's affecting your parents. It's affecting you. It's affecting your animals. It affects all things around you. And in that effect, it creates. And in that creation, it's probably building something that you're not willing to live in, live around, or be able to sustain. Because that's what creation does. Creation creates. But how is it being created? It's creating from that energetic feeling that you have deep within you. It spews outside of you from the internal to the external. It radiates from your heart, from your spirit, from your soul. It radiates from your skin, from the chemical imbalance, to you doing something to balance it out because you're feeling depressed and sad and unworthy. And you try to balance out with a different chemical. But the only true chemical that's ever going to balance this out is inside of you. It's not something you ingest. It's not something you sniff, smoke, whatever. It's something that comes out of you. And it comes out of you through work, training, things you're taught. Work, training, things you're taught, and you got to put it into a practice. Work, training, things you taught, education, and a practice. That's how you get it from the internal to the external, and you start to create. You start to develop. You start to produce your own environment within and without that you can sustain. Because right now, you're probably being programmed. And if you're being programmed, then who is running the program? We are conscious beings if you act in conscious state. Let me repeat that again. We are conscious beings if you are enacting the conscious state of mind, of coherence, of balance, of resonating, meaning vibrating, signaling the healing process. This is the process, the practice. You've read it, you've seen it, you heard it, the foods, the meditation, all that's great. But guess that doesn't take place until you allow yourself to be transparent, take off the mask, and express yourself and saying, I'm not a hero. I can become a superhero, but that's only when I take me not being a villain and express myself about what I'm not. Not what I wish I could be, just about what I'm not and what I've gone through. That's when your superness comes out of you. That's when you become super. It's not easy. Never say it was, never say it's going to be. And I don't want to give you that false sense of something's worth it, if it's worth fighting for, or worth doing, everything is not easy, blah, blah, blah. It's not that. And I don't really adhere to that type of terminology that if it's not easy, then it's worth it. That's just not true because, I'll get into that different later. But it does take work. It does take flow. And then, when you're able to do that, when you're able to do the work, then you can put back on the mask and become the superhero you're always meant to be. I wish you well. Stay blessed, stay kind, stay compassionate, stay loving. Because we need you in this fight. But the only way we're going to win this as a we, you as a you, is if you open yourself up, commit to getting the help you need. Building that team so you can win. Building that Justice League so we can defeat these villains. It's important. It's important to me. It's important to you. I know it is. I'm Dr. Paul Dyer. Welcome to Mental Health Mondays. I will see you next week. And remember, we need you in this fight.